Ladies and gentlemen, this is Genzio Media. We are out here at Bitcoin 2025 in Las Vegas today. I'm joined with Charlie from Kadena. Charlie, thanks so much for joining us today.
I'm excited to be here, man. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, no, there's a ton going on. For our audience at home, you guys can't see what's going on behind the camera, but there's a ton of people everywhere. Tons of talks going on, tons of lights, booths. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, the reception's been pretty crazy this year. And I mean, it is in a casino, so it's like a maze getting around.
Yeah.
So it's been good.
Good. Yeah, no, I think the casino's a pretty good setting for an event of this size. I mean,
yeah,
it's
for
gotta be
sure.
the biggest one I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I suppose. It's a miracle my voice is still working. We had a 12-hour day yesterday. We was in the Inscribing Vegas, the Ordinals event. So talking to kind of all the interesting Audi developers, the Room developers, the SRC, BRC stuff. And man, my voice is still here. We're going strong. Maybe by the end of the night it won't be.
Sure. Well, hey, I'll knock on wood for you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So why don't you kick us off, kind of tell us, who you are, what's Kadena doing, and what brings you guys out to Bitcoin 2025?
Yeah, sure. So I'm CJ, or Charlie, but DevRel at Kadena, kind of leading the charge at the moment for our new EVM chains as we scale out. And a bit about Kadena. Should we go straight into Kadena? Yeah. Because Kadena is a proof of work, scalable, horizontally scalable layer 1. I mean, the reason we're here and the reason we're interacting with all these cool BTC builders at the moment is because there's such a easy on-ramp for the enjoyers of proof of work and with the security that provides to come and kind of maybe talk to us about bridging some of those projects or kind of that liquidity that they want. And we have a grant program we'll talk about over to us, right? So, Kadena originally started in 2016. Our founders, Will and Stuart, they were from JP Morgan, and the original intent was to build a scalable, buildable proof of work layer 1 that, I can't say this too loud, but solve the inefficiencies of BTC, right? I think that anyone in the BTC world, even within, would you consider yourself like a BTC maxi or?
Not personally, but I think there's plenty of them here.
There's plenty of them here. Yeah, but I mean, even within that group, right? There's a pro congestion, perhaps miners. Love the fees. There's people that want to use kind of BTC as sound money or a commodity, or just want fast payments. And there's people building on it. So I think it can't be all of those things at once. So I think there is definitely room to, there's definitely room for different protocols to come in and kind of fill those gaps with, smart contracts.
Awesome. Now, what kind of incentive does Kadena offer to the Bitcoin ecosystem, right? Why would somebody bring their liquidity to your guys' platform?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think one thing we can agree on here is proof of work is a very, very good consensus mechanism. So our consensus mechanism is kind of unique in the fact that it's Nakamoto consensus, but it scales in a parallel way. So if you are building on BTC and you might be faced with kind of higher fees, we will have much, much lower fees, but just by nature. It's in a range of cents rather than sometimes. I was speaking to a creator yesterday. I think he paid 0.5 BTC to deploy. I think the file size was quite large, but I kind of consider myself a smart contract maxi in terms of trustless agreements. That's what I want to see on chain. I think that's where a lot of the interesting stuff happens. So if you are a builder on BTC and have these cool protocols you're working with or cool things you're building. I mean, we were speaking to Hermetica yesterday. I don't know if you speak to those guys. Spoke to those guys. Great team, and they're offering kind of BTC-backed collateral stablecoins that give you yield, and there's a mechanism they do it. And I think if anyone wants to check them out, they should. They're a fantastic team. But there's no reason why a team like that with the opportunity to deploy on multiple chains couldn't come to us too and bring that collateralized BTC LST to us, as well as kind of bring it to base, bring it to OP, bring it to anywhere you want. But we're here and we have our grant program available, and we can probably offer you a white glove service to deploy on us, right? We have the testnet coming out June 30th, and then mainnet towards later in the year. So I think it's a great time to come on board. And we've had hundreds of members just yesterday join our EVM early access group to come and be excited about deploying with us.
Awesome. So you mentioned the word smart contract maxi.
Yeah.
I like that. I feel like I relate to that quite a lot. My background is I've been in the DeFi trenches when I started. I'm still there.
Yeah.
And so really what's interested me the most about coming to these Bitcoin events has been seeing all of the talks about, DeFi on Bitcoin.
Yes.
Right? And that was something honestly new to me when I attended in Nashville. That was something I didn't know what was going on. And you said that you went to the Ordinals event yesterday.
Yep.
Right. So I'm sure that that's interesting to you. Can you talk a bit about, what value does smart contracts, on Bitcoin add? How are Ordinals interesting, and how does this all, affect Kadena?
Yeah, so I mean, my background is a traditional EVM developer, so I was the same. When people say they're building on BTC, it was kind of news to me too. I was like, okay, how does that work, and how do those smart contracts function? And hey, from what I've seen in the ecosystem, and believe it or not, this is actually, I've been in the industry almost 10 years now, and this is the first BTC event I've been to. So, a lot of this stuff is new to me too. I mean, on board and seeing that, there is smart contract programmability on BTC, whether it's through kind of a layer 2 on BTC. I mean, that's posed a contentious question to some people, because if you're going to build a layer 2 on BTC, then you're sacrificing the kind of the rollup might sacrifice some of that security that you want from the BTC, like in any rollup. And we don't do that. Without our consensus mechanism, as it works in a parallel, it's not just parallel execution. We don't have kind of a side chain where you have your settlement layer, which has all the security, and then you'd have side chains that come off of that, and they're not as secure as the main chain. Or perhaps, in like I mentioned with the traditional layer 1 and layer 2 rollup, where you're still kind of sacrificing something to provide that faster transaction speed. So the way we do it is each chain is as secure as the next. So they as they scale out, and if we want to scale out more, currently we have 20 chains. That's on our nascent smart contract language, Pact, and we are moving to 20 more EVM chains. So Pact chains aren't going anywhere, the support is still there, and our EVM chains are coming out. So we're just scaling out for sure with that. Yeah.
Awesome.
And smart contracts, yeah, man, I'm the same. Started in the DeFi trenches, still there, still there. I mean, I've got a bit of a kind of a villain origin story with my smart contract back now. I've never told anyone this, but it's like the first time I've actually ever told anyone this. My dad actually got kind of rug pulled from his government pension. They changed the terms of the contract very, very near to the end of his career. And when I saw, like, as I kind of cut my teeth in the industry in kind of 2016 and 17. The concept of kind of smart contracts and trust minimized or trustless contracts, where there is no central party that can change. I mean, even if it is a government, because this was the government, the UK government, that changed the terms, and it's like that can happen to anyone. And I see that race happening faster and faster, because if you can offer something, that's just more transparent, and without that centralized third party that people don't have to worry about, then people are gonna go there. It's just natural.
Wow.
So yeah.
Well, very interesting. Right? I mean, it makes sense why you're at where you're at. Right?
Yeah.
Sure. Cool. Well, is there anything that you guys are hoping to take away from the remainder of the event? I mean, today's the first, real day of the event. Yesterday was the industry day.
Yeah.
Still very packed, a little bit more packed today. I'm sure tomorrow it's going to be just as crazy, but what are you hoping to take away from this event?
Well, first of all, just learning about everything that's going on within the BTC ecosystem. It's moving so fast. And secondly, just kind of really getting on the ground with the developers here and seeing, what makes them tick, what they'd be interested in bringing over. And we've had great success, and I mean, which is kind of strange, because we're essentially we are another layer to, if you're a Bitcoin maxi, then, and I've seen some other supporters that are other layers that haven't got such a good reception. So I think we've been pretty blessed to be here, and just kind of get out there that, we're expanding to the proof of work ecosystem, and anyone that wants a secure chain to build on. I think with our grant program, we have 50 mil set aside, 25 mil for RWA, which is a huge number. And what I've seen at some of these hackathons, wherever it would be, like usually the events, it's always these guys building these really cool products, and they're not getting the funding for it. So we have the funding there, and we can provide a service that, as you work through those grant milestone processes, then there's a path to sustainability. It's in the end, because that's what every dApp developer wants, right? They want to come on and they want to have, if they're building a lending protocol, they're building something cool, then they don't want to get to the end of the milestone and go, okay, right, well, I'm going to move on. And we don't want that, right? Because you want to set them up with different dApps that can cross-pollinate that liquidity and give them a real business at the end.
Sure.
So.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
Come and build with us. Follow me on Twitter at SolidityDGen. We have a plethora of things coming the next year. We're at Istanbul Blockchain Week next month. We are at ETC, and there's going to be some huge announcements at ETC. And if you have an interest in building on a scalable, secure layer 1 that has a lot of tangents with BTC, then come check us out. Message me, DM me, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. And where can people find out more about Kadena?
So you go to kadena.io, or you can go to our Discord, which is discord.com/Kadena. Or, as I say, my Twitter, or the Kadena Twitter, we'll just cross-post stuff there. So if you find one of us, you'll find the other one. And then you'll get all the juicy details.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Charlie.
Thank you, mate.
Very interesting stuff, and hope the rest of the event goes well for you.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it, man.
Stay untamed with BC Game and make a prediction today and use code Genzio.
Hey, what's up?
But it's not something Genzio is afraid of.
If you want to survive, you got to build a hive.
No, we do not understand.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We're back at the Genzio Media House.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us today.